If you think Jax Jungle is just about farming and scaling, you're playing him wrong. In this video, I'll show you my best Jax Jungle build, how I change items every game and how you can carry rank games pretty easily. This is not a cookie cutter guide, this is how I actually win on Jax Jungle. Well, what's up my Grandmaster, this is Nas. Welcome to another Jax Jungle itemization guide, and today I'll be explaining everything about the best items, runes, and the itemization of every matchup against Jax Jungle in this specific Jax Jungle guide. Alright, so let's go for it. Jax Jungle is one of the strongest scaling carry junglers if played smartly. You win early skirmishes, dominate mid-game fights, and become absolutely unkillable in the late games with the right build. But most of the players lose because they build the same items every game. That's what we're going to be fixing today, alright? So for runes, I usually go Lethal Tempo with Triumph, Literacity, Last Stand with Cashback, and Jack of all trades. You guys can also go second runes of Inspiration with Magical Footwear or Cosmic Insight too. It all includes everything. You should be absolutely fine with these two runes. For late games, you guys can also go Conquer runes with Domination. It should be an absolute monster runes, but it only works in the late game, so do not play if you're being too aggressive in the early games, alright? So as for the starting smites, I think I would strongly recommend my players to go green and the blue smite, but most of the times you should definitely go for the blue smite because this smite is actually one of the most suitable smites for Jax Jungle. You guys can clear camps faster, gain the movement speed, and also you can slow the enemies down pretty easily. As for the core items, I would strongly recommend players to go Dusk and Dawn, Triforce, and Iceborne Godknight. Iceborne Godknight could be the perfect item against your counting champions like Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, and only works on tank Jax Jungle. Triforce and Dusk and Dawn should be a really good pick, but I think I've got more success with Dusk and Dawn, not Triforce. Triforce you guys can gain attack speed, but not much damage. Dusk and Dawn is the perfect choice in my opinion. I always start with Moose Stomper or the Blue Smite. The shield plus tenacity is huge for jungle skirmishes and team fights. My core items would be Dusk and Dawn, Hextech Gunblade, and Blade of Ruin King. These three items should be an absolute perfect guard if you want to solo carry the games pretty easily. And then you can follow it by go more tanky items for more sustain. But I've got more success with Dusk and Dawn because this item is an insanely powerful, and after the 26.3 patches, the 75% AD ratio, I haven't tested yet, but I will surely be doing some games with it, and let's see which item is more broken in 26.3 patch, okay? Dusk and Dawn, Triforce would be the most picked core items for Jax Jungle without any problem because it procs your W every time with the Spell Blade, okay? My standard core item looks like this: Dusk and Dawn, Blade of Ruin King, and Hextech Gunblade. You should be an absolute monster with Dusk and Dawn, Blade of Ruin King, and Hextech Gunblade. Blade of Ruin King, the reason why I'm going is because this is the strongest early spike. It melts tanks, helps sticks to the targets, and makes your ganks deadly. Okay, Dusk and Dawn core item, it's a must item. Works just fine with its burst damage and the spell blade. Okay, Hextech Gunblade, it can be a magic item. You know, it can be a really wonderful item against squishies. Like the active itself can slow you down, and you gain a lot of life steal with it. It's an hybrid build, and it works stunning. I've got more success with these three items, so I would strongly recommend my players to go these three items, and you should be an absolute monster. So the first recall with 200 gold, I think the first component of Jax Jungle should always be Spellblade with boots, or you guys can also go Spellblade with dagger, because Spellblade is the most suitable and the most strongest early spike component of Jax Jungle. It has the Spellblade synergy, movement speed, and insane DPS. It can be really helpful when you're trying to gank lanes, or you guys can try to farm a lot, because it's an absolute stunning component with 1v1 also, okay? Or Spellblade with dagger should be and an absolute monster. You guys can also go second item, Blade of Ruin King, Hextech Gunblade, Omains, and Sundered Sky. Tanks, you guys can go second item as Blade of Ruin King, hybrid damage. If you want to give some hybrid damage, then you can go Hextech Gunblade. Critical Strike, if you want to stop an Fed ADC, please go Critical Strike Omains as your second item. It works just fine with both the items like Dusk and Dawn and Triforce. You won't have any much problem. The synchronization is an absolute stunning. And the sustained damage, Sundered Sky, I haven't tested much with this item with Dusk and Dawn, but with Triforce and Sundered Sky, you'll be absolute fine. Third items could be Death Dance, Bolts, Frozen Heart, and Kinetic Ruken. The reason why do I go Death Dance, it's because of its ultimate amount of survivability. Yes, Death Dance gives Jax insane amount of 80 boost, Q leap strike, W empowered, and auto attacks. Ability haste on E, more counter strike, uptime. Armor, I think it literally helps a lot with 80 comms and damage delay passive. The real reason why I go Death Dance. And it also really works against champions like Aatrox, Riven, Zahin. Yes, these three champions would be the most suitable to fight against. And Jax Jungle is more of a bruiser slash diver. So it literally benefits him from survivability while still dealing DPS. Yes, Bolts could be a really good critical strike attack speed item on Jax Jungle, but only go as your third pick. Do not go or do not buy this item as your second item because it's an abomination without any damage, okay? So, and also, it doesn't really synchronize it with Dusk and Dawn, so try to go only with Triforce and Bolts. Do not go as your second, only focus more on attack speed and critical strike Bolts if you have enough damage to handle the situation, okay? Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart is actually more of a matchup-based itemization part. Yes. Frozen Heart really works against heavy AD champions slash auto attackers. For example, champions like Tristana, Mastery, all the champions, they can be really big pain in the butt if you don't go Frozen Heart. It really works against champions like ADC Heavy Comms or Dual Assist. Yes, Frozen Heart plus your E literally deletes auto attack champions from the game. Trust me on this, guys. Omains and the Frozen items could be the perfect with Dusk and Dawn and Triforce. You won't have much problem, trust me. It's more of a hybrid and an AD build, okay? Random Omains and Frozen Heart should be the best armor AD item, okay? So, magic resistance Kinetic Ruken. Yes, in my experience of I'm talking about, I've got more success with Kinetic Ruken more than Witsend. This is why I've named it as situational type Witsend item. Kinetic Ruken is more of a against heavy burst AP champions. It also gives more tankiness and it really works just fine. If the enemy has stronger AP or burst mages, you can go Kinetic Ruken or Witsend. Witsend could be in a situational item because it also gives you attack speed and tenacity. Okay, you won't have much problem with either of the items. Witsend gives you damage and magic resistance. Kinetic Ruken gives you more tank and magic resistance. Perfectly placed on Jax Jungle. Situational items could be C44 Bandle Pipes, Wits, and Zonias. Well, the reason why I go C44 in situational items is because C44's passive is really suitable on Jax Jungle and it can really help you against long range champions. For example, Ashe, Sena, Caitlyn, Kindred, Graves. Not Graves, let's say all these items, all the champions, they can be huge pain in the butt. Which is why I always focus more on giving with more range. C44 gives you some range. A decent amount of range should be an absolute fine. Ashe's passive is more on Jax Jungle, which is why I always like to go C44 against her. Caitlyn, yes, she can escape with her E. Sena's range also increases infinitely, which is why I always prefer to go C44. It can give you attacks, it can give you 80 critical strike damage, and it works just fine on Jax Jungle. Bandle Pipes, it's more of a supportive item, I know, which is why I like to go, just because of its passive, the Fanfare. Fanfare is really good on Jax Jungle because it gives you attack speed. Yes, it's more of a supportive item and I know it's really cheap. So even if if you're behind in team fights or if you're behind in KD or something like gold, you should be absolutely fine. Bundle Pipes is really good on Jax Jungle. You can try it in some of your situational games. You can try it in your normals as well. With Sand, Tenacity works great against Morgana, and the champions who can slow you down more, like insanely slow you down with a lot of CC. Attack speed, CC, yes, with Sand should be absolutely fine. Zonias is a really interesting pick and a really old pick. It works super fine against CC champions, like super CC champions. If you're getting CC forever, then you can use Zonias for more survivability. Yes. So this is why I like to go Zonias on Dusk and Dawn and Triforce. Try not to go these items on tank Jax Jungle build. It's more of a rare build, so try not to pick that build unless you're fighting against champions like Kha'Zix or Lee Sin, okay? Boots matter a lot on Jax Jungle, which is why I always like to go these 3 boots only. The best options on Jax Jungle, the best 3 boots would be Ninja Tabbies, MR boots, and CDR boots. I like to go these boots on purpose only. Ninja Tabbies against heavy AD or auto attackers. Mercury Trends against AP plus CC. Ionia boots would be only if the enemy has low CC and you're snowballing it super, okay? Never autopilot boots. Look at your enemy comp always, guys. It's really important. Never autopilot boots. It's always really important for you to go the boots, okay? Alright, guys, so let's talk about the match itemization guide, okay? If you're running Jax Jungle and wondering who actually ruins your game, here's the real talk. Jax is a scaling monster, but some champions hard counters his early games, tempo, and team fight value. If your game is destroyed in the early games, then it takes a while for you to farm and scale as Jax Jungle, which is why most of the players don't pick him if your early games are destroyed. So you actually kind of suffer in the high low. Mid and low you should be absolutely fine. So we're gonna be talking about some countering matchups of Jax Jungle today, which is gonna be the first one is gonna be the Poppy. Poppy, I think, well, she's an annoying matchup, but she can be killed, but not because of her tankiness, it's because of her CC. Her W can completely deny Q leap strike of Jax Jungle. Too tanky in the early games, early pressure, objective control. Yes, smart Poppy players can destroy Jax Jungle without any problem. You can't engage, you cannot escape, you cannot scale freely, which is why I would strongly players to permanently ban her in the high low. Mid and low, no problem, it's alright, you will be absolutely fine. Now, the itemization of Jax Jungle against Poppy should be, well, if you're fighting against some super tanks like Poppy, Sejuani, Rammus, I think I would strongly recommend players to go more hybrid build, because you're literally forcing those champions to go magic resistance and armor. So let's go for the Poppy itemization guide would be, let's say, Dusk and Dawn, Blade of Rinking, and Omains if you're fighting against an AD fed champion. Armor item, you can go Unending Despair, not a problem, but just be careful, okay? Poppy is really annoying. So Dusk and Dawn, Blade of Rinking, or you can go Hextech Gunblade, but you will be quite squishy with it. Just handle the situations, and the strategies will be explained in the solo matchup guide, okay? So let's go for the next champion, which is the Sejuani, guys. Sejuani is an outstanding champion against Jax Jungle. Jax Jungle outskills her in team fights, but too tanky to kill in the early games. So always bear this in mind. CC chain makes you useless. Her stacking passive ability is the really annoying thing part. Her ult can literally stun you forever. You can get chain CC'd and then you're doomed. If you don't have much sustain, you're dead. Which is why I think I would strongly recommend players to go play passive in the early games and then destroy her in the late game. So the itemization guide would be about this champion is also going to be the same one. I would strongly recommend players to go Dusk and Dawn, Blade Ranking, Hextech Gunblade. You can go Hextech Gunblade as your third item, no problem, but try to rush Blade Ranking as fast as you can as your second item, okay? Because once you get Blade Ranking, you'll be able to take it down like a piece of cake. So always bear this in mind. Like, she can put a lot of pressure in team fights before the late games, okay? So let's go for the next champion now, guys. Now, this is the Rammus matchup guide. Itemization will be explained. Just let me tell you everything about Rammus. Rammus champion's armor stacking equals to pain. Super pain, man. The champion is heavily broken against Jax Jungle if you're getting super 80 build. Okay? No matter how much damage you go, well, in 1v1 he can destroy you with his taunt. Taunt ignores counter strike value. Okay, just remember this one thing. Beats you in a 1v1 plus team fights. You can put insane amount of pressure in the jungle ganks, gain the objectives as well. Dodge fights unless you're giga fed, okay? I would strongly recommend players to dodge fights unless you're giga fed. It's really useless to fight against him in a 1v1 situation, okay? He can be the best frontliner in my experience. So itemization against Rammus, please go more magic items. Magic penetration, it's okay if you don't go any magic penetration, but try to go more AP burst items. Like, you can go Nash's Tooth, Dusk and Dawn, Hextech Gunblade, these 3 items, and Blade of Ringing also at the same time. Try to go more hybrid build. Yes, I'm talking about the tank matchup guides. Most everybody knows that Rammus builds Thorn Mail, and he has his first item. So to counter that, you can go more AP burst damage. You should be absolutely fine with that. Now, let's go for another matchup guide here, which is the Graves matchup. Well, Graves is more of a squishy champion, and you can actually he's pretty annoying in the early games. Well, if the enemy jungle has more better tempo than you, then he can early invade and put a lot of pressure. He can steal your jungle camps by the time you actually clear your jungle camps. Yes, if you're a slow clearing player, then yes, he can actually invade you with his best tempo, kites you hard with his dash and the ult damage as well. If he snowballs, jungle is super gone, guys. Okay, so always bear this in mind. If you want to counter Graves, try to counter him in the early games as soon as possible. He can be quite annoying, and also you can go ghost against him, not flash, because he can actually dodge with his flash thing. You can also use the flash and E combination, no problem in it. You'll be absolutely fine. But ghost would be more effective in chasing. Okay. Itemization about this champion, yes. Graves, you can go Triforce instead of Dusk and Dawn. You'll be gaining the attack speed but not much damage, and also try to go Omains as your second item. After this season, critical strike damage issues are always been a huge pressure. Okay, so try to go Omains as your second item. You'll be absolutely fine. It works just fine with both the core items, Dusk and Dawn Omains and Trinity Force Omains. Yes, it's all good. Okay, you can also go Death Dance if he's super fat, or if you're fighting against some heavy 80 champions. Okay, so now let's go for the another matchup guide, which is the Amumu Stronger Jax Jungler. Yes, Amumu wins early games against Jax Jungle just because of its W passive. I really hate its W, the crying thing. It gives AP damage, and his Q, the double Q, can stun you down. Those abilities actually kind of like helps Amumu to win in a 1v1 situation, which I really hate the most. So Amumu has stronger ganks. You have stronger scaling, stronger farming. You'll be more perfect with Jax Jungle. Amumu has way better teamfight impact. Yes, with his ult, he can stun everybody. So always try to be more separated from your teammates. You won't be getting stunned and CC'd forever like that. And also, the good thing is that you beat him early, but one bad fight equals to game over. If he's like ahead in the high-low, players with better tempo, they can literally bend you to your knees. Try to pick your fights on your own risk only. The itemization guide against Amumu, well, I think core items, Dusk and Dawn, Trinity Force, you won't have much problem, but I've got more success with Trinity Force just because of its attack speed and tiny bit of damage. Blade of Ringing, second item, yes, you can go. Then followed by magic resistance item. Well, you can go Tenacity just in case that guy has slowing you down with this Riley's item. If he builds Riley's, yes, you can go with Sand. No problem, you won't have much problem with it. If you play Jax Jungle, the biggest counters for you are going to be the Khajiks, Lee Sin. Sejuani, no, sometimes, yes, Poppy can be an annoying matchup, but she can be killed. If she's behind, then you can dominate her pretty easily. Annoying skill matchups would be Shaco, Kindred. Yes, Kindred, better tempo, and Shaker with better tempo, they can scrutinize you pretty easily. Okay, best advice for you is that avoid blind picking Jax Jungle. If you're not confident enough to play Jax Jungle against any of these matchups, then it's better to avoid blind picking it. Full clear skill, smart account ganks. Yes, that's what I do. I like to do these stuffs if I'm not ahead. Okay, itemization probably would be best. Okay, let's go for the head-to-head summary. Situational best items. If you want to rank climb, I think now in this season you can go Dusk and Dawn. And if you're extending fights, you can still go Dusk and Dawn or Triforce. No problem in it. Late game scaling, yes. Well, this can be more helpful with Triforce. So I'm going to pick this as a Triforce situation, okay? Smurfs, normals, cheese, you can go Dusk and Dawn. Okay, no problem in it. That's for sure. Consistency wise, it's a good pick. I'm gonna go with Dusk and Dawn only. Consistently, you can dominate it, but after this adjustments of this current patches, I haven't tried it, so I'm just gonna let you all know in the live streams. Okay. See, if you're not confident enough in one thing, which is Triforce, which one you need to pick, Triforce and Dusk and Dawn. Remember one thing. Trinity Force wins clips. Dusk and Dawn wins games. Always remember this thing. Okay, I've got more success in this season with Dusk and Dawn. Unless this item is not nerfed, I think this would be the perfect and the most picked item for Jax Jungle. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. I hope so you guys, everybody, enjoyed my video. Let me know in the comment section how you guys want to see Jax Jungle with different matchup guides. Okay, I'll be gladly to help you all in every matchup, guys. Okay, you can also join the membership today if you want to become a really good Jax Jungle like me. I can definitely show you all some of the most insane builds of Jax Jungle, which I haven't showed you all in this videos. Okay, I've got huge success in Chinese servers as well, including the CE server as well. Okay, so trust me on this, Jax Jungle is not at all a bad pick in any way. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Would be really appreciated if you guys give me a little bit of support. It's always been a pleasure to show you all some really good content of Jax Jungle. Alright, so let's go for it, guys. I'll see you in the Rift next time.